So I am constantly working on shit. But Sonic is always in the back of my mind. It's like a parasite I can never quite get out of my system. With that being said, that Sonic Crossworlds, huh? Looks pretty sick, doesn't it? It honestly looks like it's shaping out to be one of the best, if not the best racing title we've ever gotten in the series. I think one of the coolest aspects of it is how there seems to be over 500 exchanges between characters. Oh, people don't like the dialogue, I see. Now, Sonic dialogue as of late is a bit of a hot discussion, with a big complaint I've been seeing as of late is people saying, everyone's favorite man to be totally reasonable about, relying far too heavily on referential dialogue to carry a good portion of exchanges, such as Sonic consistently calling Shadow a faker. Some even feel the dialogue with Sonic here is mean-spirited, and I just have to completely disagree with you on that one. While I do feel we are reaching territory where lines from 2000 Sonic games are getting more overused than FNAF fans milking VHS tapes, I think this would be much less a problem with people if at the same time new lines that evoke that cool feeling were also introduced. Callbacks are nice, but an overabundance of run into characters sounded like they're reading off their wiki page. With that being said, I do think the dialogue debate is overblown with the mean-spiritedness. I mean, Sonic and Shadow having a bit of beef in a competition is just, well, it's fun. Is this the usual way they would interact? No. Is this fun and chaotic? Absolutely. This is a rival battle in a kart racer. We have an over-the-top ridiculous situation. I think playing with that and having characters trash talk each other in their own ways is honestly really cool. My actual issue, if anything, is I feel like some characters Amy fall into being way too tame. Like, come on, man, this isn't Amy, this is Grammy. Amy is a character so full of spunk and spice. Let that show in her dialogue. Let her be petty if she loses. Let her be cheeky to the competition. This general attitude for Amy as of late with toning down her spice is something I really am not a fan of. It was like the best part of her character to me in the 2000s. Now she loves the world, I guess. What the fuck does that even mean? In general, this got me to think, is Sonic dialogue just bad now? Personally, I cannot disagree with this more. Well, yeah, a couple references go too far. I'm looking at you, Jen's rewrite. It's never anything so egregious that I'm sitting there not recognizing the character on my screen. And I guess that's the main topic of discussion here. Nuance. A lot of the time, everything with this topic I see is so black and white of IDW is complete garbage, dumpster fire. In this manga, you see this manga, this actually gets Sonic, and you're an idiot if you think otherwise. You know, because that's how we should talk to people, I guess. You sure showed them. With that being said, a big part of why I'm in a divide with Sonic writing is because the situations do indeed matter for these things. For Crossworlds, it can get away with characters trashing each other. It's a versus game in a ridiculous situation for the characters. This doesn't fly for, say, something like Shadow Gen, which is going for a narrative you're meant to be emotionally drawn to. Which, while I'm on the subject, Shadow Generation's writing is excellent in the way every piece of dialogue, every little gesture, you can analyze and derive a lot of meaning in the scene from. Like the scene of Maria explaining to Shadow why his name is Shadow. That was written in gold ink. I think my other big contention with people is the Japan versus English dialogue, which, listen man, I have looked at every story both ways. I'm sorry man, a good 90% of the time, the changes are so minuscule that it feels like this without fail. But the flap and flotsam, what's that? Oftentimes the changes between languages is also simply because the way they translate don't translate one-to-one to English, so you get something that essentially is the same feeling. And that's I think why as of recent, minus Frontiers, that shit's a mess with this Japan script, Sonic Stories Japanese versus English scripts just don't mean much of a difference to me because the exact same meaning is being translated. A word or two might change, but that's what matters to me with characters. The feeling. For example, if I told you, man, I adore video games, versus, man, I have a passion for video games. These may be constructed differently, but you get the same feeling for both of these, that I love video games. That meaning isn't lost regardless of which sentence I use. And I get that speech patterns do matter to characters, I get that. But it's never so gigantic that I'm like, oh man, who put in Sinnoh the Rat Man? I think the fundamentals need to be considered. Think of the core traits of these characters. Ask yourself, are these being broken? Just something to consider. With that being said, I do think Sonic could do with telling new stories with new characters. I do feel like with the overabundance of re-establishing, recorrecting, we could do with a fresh new tale in a new location that can give us that feeling of newness and freshness. Sonic is honestly at its best narratively when Sonic and Co are in unknown territory, and that's mostly due to how Sonic by nature, changes his world around him. The new Sonic manga kinda does this, even if I'm not a fan of how weirdly cryptic Sonic is in it. IDW is doing more short-form stories in new areas, which I also appreciate a lot. I don't know, I think saying all the Sonic writing we have been getting is garbage is really disingenuous to how much earnesty is here. It's a thing Sonic was missing for such a long time for me. The earnesty, the want to tell something meaningful. I think sometimes these stories and dialogue are becoming less like they are as a bigger whole of a narrative or game, and becoming every line to microanalyze and is this really the character? Are they dead? This isn't them? Just so that we can have something to call mindlessly garbage. And surely it can't be that simple, can it? And obviously I'm not saying analyzing is wrong. I'm doing it right now. But the thing with analyzing is looking at the full picture. Because I swear, I'll see talk of IDW with single panels getting hated on with no regard to full context of the story or why it happens. Hell, people call IDW as a whole garbage, then post a screenshot of a comic from 3 years ago, so should I even be surprised? All I ask is that we discuss further and think more about what we're actually saying. If something you like comes out, don't use it to weaponize it against people. And if someone didn't like it, there's no reason to go at them with, oh, so you hate the real Sonic! Like, okay, little bro, have a seat in the cell with your goat. Sonic writing is so interesting because no one can agree on this stuff, and I think in a way it's so interesting how so many people derive so many different meanings from it. The versatility of good art is so fun, because as a creator, all you can really do is put things out into the world, and when that happens, that creation almost takes a life of its own. That thing becomes something to be interpreted by millions, and all you can really do is hope people like what you put down. I have to wonder if Sonic Team ever planned on Sonic writing becoming this wide of a discussed topic. Something we care so much about, that there's video essays and tons of hours of discussion just talking about Sonic's mannerisms. All that being said, fellas, can Sonic writing be better? I mean, yeah, of course. Let's just discuss things further. Maybe we can understand each other. With that being said, that manga is mid as shit, man.